Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, and this is the set. Tonight, we're going to speak to a part of history, the lineage, the offspring of our island's legendary long list of boxers, Mr. Hector Macho Camacho Jr. Oof, I'm excited for this one. Salute, Mr. Anthony Lopez. We see you. Ms. Reyes, good evening. Good evening. Johnny, what up? Man, I can't tell you people how excited I am to be here tonight. I think this is going to bring us a moment of a getaway, if you would, away from all the bullshit that's been going on and all the nonsense that we've been sort of enduring, the white noise behind us. We're hoping to sit down with this gentleman and have a conversation. Cuzzo, what's up? I see you, brother. Yo, Ray, what's up? I'm hoping to have a great conversation and, hoping to bring something aside of him that you all can learn and, things that you didn't know and talk what it's like being the son of an amazing and enormous legend in Macho Camacho. We all know his history. We all know that when he stepped in the ring, he always brought Puerto Rico in there with him. We knew he was a tremendous fighter. And we all know the tragedy that took his life. But right now, this is more celebratory. And we're going to get to know Camacho Jr. on a whole other level. And I hope everybody that's tuning in tonight enjoys the show and takes a piece of history away with them. So, as I said, it's going to be a celebration of life. And this young man, he's a great young man. Well, I didn't even say good young man. He's a man. He's in his 40s. And he's just very down to earth. And we really appreciate him giving his time tonight. So we're definitely excited to have him. I hope everybody is here and ready to be engaged. And I see everybody, that's in the room. Everybody's super excited. I see all the banderas going up and the thumbs up, man. I really appreciate everybody coming out to join us tonight. Mr. Flowers, good evening. I'm glad you could be with us. Let me see if my partner, Mr. Sasson, is ready to come in the room. Can I get a thumbs? Oh, there he goes. All right. Let's switch it up. Yo, what's up, brother?
What's going on? How you doing, everybody?
Yeah. Man, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just
El Domingo.
Yeah, you know what it is. Football Sunday. Everybody's locked into those games, but
especially you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Got some action yesterday. Got some action today.
Okay.
Cool. Some fun.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
Man,
how's the chat looking? Everybody's ready?
Oof. Dude, it's going off. I just meant to tell you, the big sister Millie Miller's in here. Miss Brianna's in here. That shirt, huh? Bree Shooters. Yo, salute to our brothers Chris and Lou. Bree Shooters. We see you,
fellas.
Salute. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Lopez, let me put his little salute to you up here.
What's going on, Ant? How you doing, Pa?
The OG.
Everybody, hello to everybody in the chat, watching us on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching us, man. Appreciate y'all for coming, hang out with us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think Macho's camera's frozen. I'm looking down there, he looks frozen. Yeah, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited to have this conversation. It's a beautiful thing to actually have somebody who's a part of history, one, and two, from our land, our island.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's a beautiful thing. And I hope that we sort of characterize him and bring him to the audience in the proper light, in a positive light as well.
For sure.
And
that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're a little older than Junior, and we're probably a little younger than Pop. So it kind of is like we missed his fight some of them early fights probably, but we caught some of his later stuff. And Junior actually, was for a person that lived through it and went through it. You know, I think we all, like when you watch some of the stuff, you realize the greatness of Camacho, how he feared nobody, how he fought everyone, and I think that's what needs to be recognized, and taken away from this.
Yeah, I think the OGs in the room know because they watched Camacho. Camacho was sort of like their Tyson to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that his legend surpasses the generation in a way that he was the fighter that all our people used to talk about, right?
Is he still frozen? Because I think my phone was going off.
No, he I think he's relogging in. He left the room.
Okay.
I just texted him. I said, "Yo, just go in and go out and come back in."
My phone just lighting up. So,
you wanna hit him back?
We'll see if he locks back, and then just let me know.
So yeah, to have him come in here and tell his story and what it was like for him growing up and the things that he sort of endured is a beautiful thing. There's probably a lot of stuff. I hope there's a lot of things that we're going to learn that nobody's ever known before. And it's a tragic loss again, but I think that our job and what we always set out to do is to bring the reality and the other part of the story, which is there he goes.
Yeah,
people drive what sells, and what sells is the drama, and we don't do that.
No, right? We ain't about that.
Yeah, so we want to bring out the other side of the story, which is what people don't know. This was his father.
Yeah.
So
is he good? If you're giving the thumbs up, we start wrapping up the monologue and let's get ready to rock and roll. I know.
Yeah, he's ready. All right. I got one announcement. Let me just share this with everybody. I got one announcement, and then we're gonna, I think Sally, if you got one, we'll do that too, and we'll run the track.
I don't have anything.
All right.
I have R.I.P. Tom, Minnesota. That's it.
Yeah, damn, big loss.
Dodger blue.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you last week, Miss Luciana is running in a beauty pageant. She is a young lady. My cousin adopted her. These are things that I didn't want to share before, but my cousin said it was totally fine. My cousin adopted her when she was a few months old. And as you can see, on the surface, she looks like one thing, but if you speak to her, she's something totally different. Growing up in a house full of Boricuas from the island who were born and raised there and grew there and didn't leave there too many years later, Luciana now, I think she's in preschool, speaks Spanish fluently. And she walks around the house, talking with everybody like if eran Boricua. The point I'm saying to you is that my cousin adopted this girl and she made her daughter. And now she's carrying the torch, if you would, in pageants. Now, if you see this website, I'm going to post it up on our page. She's trying to go for a title. It is $1 a vote. And all I'm asking is that everybody could please help support her so that she can win this title. All right. And I won't carry on any longer. I'm going to post it to our page and I hope everybody can support. All right, man. So
start the show.
We ready to run this track?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my compadre.
Sally Sasson in the building.
Welcome to the set. Tonight, we speak to Mr. Hector Camacho Jr. And as they always like to say, oh, he's going out again. He keeps freezing. We're going to wait for him to come back in, and then we're going to start the show. I'm glad everybody could make it tonight. Salute Mr. Ricky Adorno. Oh, Ulysses. Wow. Ulysses, what's up, brother? Good for you to join us. Let's just wait. As soon as he comes back in the room, we'll just bring him in.
If this is your first time in the room with us, guys, or watching, please, if you get a chance, go to the YouTube, hit that subscribe to Set 6145. We're on Facebook, IG, all those social medias are there, but the YouTube and the Facebook, it was where we go live. So we appreciate the support. Thank you guys.
for
And
sure.
we got some stuff coming,
Yeah, a
hopefully
lot of
something that you
Woo.
like.
A lot of things coming. Pause. Salute to Mr. Samuel Sierra and Benz. What's up, brother? Salute, man. Appreciate the support. Your man runs the Sunset Park page. Oof. A lot of things going on over there. We're just waiting for Camacho Jr. to come back into the room. His camera was freezing up or whatnot. But as soon as he comes back in, we'll start the show. Sally, how's your football looking?
I think there was like 14-3 now. Saints were up. Anybody watching, they could keep us posted. What else is going on?
How the Knicks looking?
Knicks is looking all right. They had a bad night the other day. But
Who they dropped to Atlanta?
OKC, I think.
Oh,
But
okay. So,
yeah.
wow.
So
Decent start.
yeah. I mean,
Decent start.
can't have them all right now. They were a little lackadaisical, but we take what we can right now. We didn't have 4 wins till like 4 months in for years. So
Yeah.
whatever they got 5 wins, I think they're 5-4.
It's definitely a beautiful thing to watch because I see all the Knicks fans getting hyped. New York basketball is New York basketball, right? And it would be great to get that '80s feeling back. That late '80s, early '90s feeling where you had Pat, you had the Goon Squad, you know, you had John Starks. They were deep. They had a great team. People loved to be in the Garden. Even if they were playing teams like the Bulls or whatever, those were even more amazing games. The Garden used to go crazy. But it would be great to get that feeling back. New York basketball has always been a thing, and the way shit is now, the last couple of years, it's just
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they would have got a lot of love if things were, but there's no fans there now, so it's good for them. They could learn and grow together.
yeah.
You know,
What's,
Kanye Irving sat out again
he
the other
did.
night.
What's wrong with him?
Say he didn't like what was going on with the whole Capitol Hill stuff, and he's
So
making a stand or whatever.
so maybe you just play to get
Mm,
people their minds off the bullshit.
yeah, but, he
Wow.
take off when he want. That's on him. I wish everybody wish they could take off their job whenever they want. Like, I don't like what happened over there. I'm gonna just take off. So,
Ms. Rosario, Ms. Rosario, good evening. Ulysses says it's 14-3 Saints.
okay,
Mr. Bookin says it's the same. 10 minutes left in the game.
all right, I'll take that score.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yo, do you want to tuck and call this kid
Yep.
again? All right, let me tuck you away. Hold on. So ladies and gentlemen, his phone kept freezing or his tablet. He came back in and then he froze again. So I'm having Sully just speak to him to maybe give him a little assistance if he needs it. Yeah, we all wish for that. The Knicks being who they were during that, during that era, that run, was great to watch. The Garden. For me, I was never a Knicks fan, right? I supported them and I would root for them because they're a New York team, but I was never a heavy duty Knicks fan. You know, my guy, forget it. We used to spend a lot of time arguing about the Knicks and what they were gonna do or would do or whatever. But the feeling that was in New York City back then, is missing from basketball for New York, right? And it would be great if we had that feeling back again. I used to like watching them play, because again, you had a goon squad, big, down in the paint, nothing for free, charged up basketball. You had a lot of head cases on there. You had Mason, you had Oakley, you know, Derek, Derek Harper, the seasoned vet, which if Pat Riley puts the ball in his hand, we win a chip against the Rockets. but he was letting John Starks run loose, and he went like what 3 for like 57 from the field. If Harper had the ball, I think things would have been different. But it is what it is. Lefty, what up? Salute, salute. We're just waiting for my partner to get back in contact with this cat, and then as soon as he comes back in the room, we're gonna start the show. Um, Hopefully tonight's show will be a great distraction. With all the fuckery that's going on, we definitely just want to have a good time and take every wait. New Orleans now 20 waiting for the extra point. That's him. My partner's like, he doesn't even want to. He really doesn't even want to do the show on Sundays because of football. But it is what it is. Charles Smith had dunked the damn ball. They win the Listen, man. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. They had their chance, and to beat Houston would have been tremendous. That would have meant denying uh, Akeem, and that would have redeemed Pat Ewing's legacy finally. Because he owned Akeem in college ball when he was with the Hoyas, and when Akeem came to the NBA, Pat could not fuck with him. Period. Hands down, he couldn't. You know, he couldn't get it together against Akeem. They were, it was tremendous force. Akeem had game. He had handle. He had moves. He had it all. He was the complete package. See, exactly, Uncle John. Stock shot 2 for 23. you know, he was a head case. He was, it was a double edged sword with Starks. You know, Ackerman bodied you. Everybody, there was a lot of people that bodied Ewing, and it's a shame. Those 3 foot finger rolls in the paint, and him, trying to do the turnaround pull up. Just a lot of missed opportunities for that team. And it used to hurt to watch. Well, it didn't hurt me. I used to laugh. Selly used to be tight. But it's one of those things. But the point is we want to get that feeling back, right? We want New York basketball to come back to New York the way it was before. And it seems like they're getting off to a good start. And hopefully at some point they can make the playoffs, and it's just that thing. Yeah, it is a shame Ewing never won a chip, but Don Mattingly, who was an amazing player, first base, New York Yankees, never got his ring. And it's a shame. He's a Hall of Famer, no? I know my uncle loved that dude, loved Mattingly. He used to, hey, yo, come to the crib and you couldn't change the channel. He was sitting there watching that damn game no matter what. And even that team, the Yanks back then, was stacked. Well, at least to me, they were. But, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. New York football is shit. We know that. We're not even in the playoffs. Oh, what's going on here? Hold on. I'm just waiting for this dude to come back in the room. This is the sad part about dealing with people. He's in Vegas, right? So evidently, we didn't know they're trying to orchestrate an exhibition match or some sort of match between Junior and Chavez, which I don't know about you guys, but to see two older gentlemen like we just saw Tyson fight, it's I don't know. Oh wow. So one of my past guests, Mr. Ricky Adorno, who is I'm gonna put it the way I know how to, Rick. And if I'm saying it wrong, you can correct me. Mr. Adorno is a substance abuse counselor, right? And he just posted, lost 8 clients to overdose in a month and a half. We got to bring awareness on addiction. And my guy here has 10 years and 4 months, 16 days sober. And, people recover when they put their minds and their hearts to it. So, Mr. Adorno, I see you. I know all the good work you're still doing. and I know that these people passing has a different kind of effect on you. And just so everybody knows in the room, we had addiction was an episode we did in the past with Ricky Adorno and Mr. Mark David Valentine, and we're definitely working on a part two. But the addiction episode happens to be the largest viewed episode of the set to date. There have been two close runner-ups, but they haven't surpassed that episode. And what we're doing now is trying to work on another episode of addiction where we have younger people who have recovered and are leading, stable lives right now. So we're working on that behind the scenes. So Rick, I hope you could tune in for that. And who knows, maybe I'll have you on as a guest to speak with them as well. But these two gentlemen that we're speaking to are younger, and hopefully, their story will help assist and bring understanding that recovery is possible to the show. Yeah, and everybody's giving you a lot of kudos, Rick. Mr. Manuel Torres, good evening. Well, got a few family members in the room. Mr. Sanchez, I see you. So, all right. So, Dude's phone was frozen. He left and he came back in, and it got frozen again. And now I'm waiting for Sully is dealing with this issue behind the scenes. Okay, he has to wire his. Just bear with us, folks. He's, some people aren't tech savvy, and I guess he's one of them. So I'm trying to help as well. How does everybody feel about what's going on in the country at this time? Oh, Ms. Reyes, the Steelers. You want a shout out? All right, there he goes. Let's get Sully to sit down. Miss Erica Romero Crump, my cuz, I love you. I see you. You already know what it is with us. All right, we got Junior in the room. Let me get a thumbs up, Junior. Oh, he's throwing jabs. All right, hold up, everybody. Let me get Sully over here, and we're gonna start the show. And all right, Sully, let's go. What is he in the bathroom? This guy's killing me. I'm gonna call Sully. Y'all want to hear this phone call? All right, I'm calling Sully. I don't know what he's doing. Junior's in the room. Just stand by, Junior. We're gonna bring you in right now.
Yeah.
Yo, where you at? Junior's waiting for us, man. He's here.
Okay, so just bring him on. I'll be right there.
Oh, okay. You hear this guy? You hear how he talks to me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Hector Macho Camacho Jr. Oh,
Macho time.
Macho
What's
time.
up, man?
Yo,
Macho time.
yes. Before we get into our discussion, I just want to say, first and foremost, that I appreciate you giving us your time and making time for us. And yeah, man, we wanna have a discussion with you and make sure that you feel comfortable and you feel at home. And whatever you don't want to talk about is fine with us. All right.
My brother, I appreciate that, man. You know what I would say? It's a blessing to be on. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to tell my side of the story.
Yes, sir.
And like I always tell people, if it ain't for the fans, it ain't for the boxing fans, for the people, us fighters are nobody. So big thanks for having me on, brother.
Oh, of course.
Macho, I was changing the shirt, Macho. See, I changed the shirt for you.
I hear you. I hear that. Thank you, brother. Now we looking better.
Yeah.
There you
Yankee
go.
Blue, we looking better.
You got it. All right. Thank you for coming on, brother. Appreciate you.
Nah, man, my pleasure, brother. Let's get busy.
So everybody in the room, as I said, welcome Mr. Macho Camacho Jr. It's Macho time. Thank you for joining. So Mach, I'm gonna get comfortable and start giving you my own nicknames, Mach. So being born to this tremendous legend from Puerto Rico, as a kid growing up, Was it difficult for you to handle that because of who your father was?
You know what? Like everything, it has its pros and its cons. My father was dope, man. He was like a real life superhero. Like this guy that I see on TV, that I see come by, visit me with flashy cars, then disappear. So it was dope. It had the pros and its cons because when I walk down the streets, I had people point at me. I was like 5, 6 years old. Oh, that's Camacho's son. That's Camacho's son. I had people, man. The people stop me asking for a picture, which was good. But the cons to that side is, I just get bullied. I just get picked on. Or you come out your son, you know how to fight, let's fight. Oh yeah, your father ain't shit. It's always, the pros and the cons. But overall, people say it's a shadow. Nah, for me it's a light. It ain't no shadow, it's a light. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Wow.
Camacho, question. You said when you were young, right? They would you feel like they would bully you and try to test you and stuff like that. Also, would there be
You know,
worries from your
uh-huh.
dad and the family of like kidnapping, ransom and things like that with you, like because of the
Hey,
name?
funny you asked that. Funny you asked that, brother. See, look, I was, I was raised with my mother, my grandmother, my 2 aunts. I was in a house all females, all households. My father would come around, of course, and they was raised up 2 blocks away from us. I was from 112 Second Avenue, Jefferson Project. My father was on 15th in Lexington, which is Johnson. Um, the normal. When you born in New York, you get challenged. I mean, let me see your sneakers or where you from or whatever not. So people will hear you come out, you come out your son, word. You come out, that signs me up. Word. You know how to fight? Yeah, let's see. Let's shadow box. Let's slap box. We used to get that back in the days. And New York was a ruthless city. So you had to be tough in New York, no matter where you go. So, I had a couple of those. You know what I'm saying? I used to be like that. I used to be like a lot of people. I was proud. You come out your son. It was always always 2 or 3 of them. Nah, man. You know what, man? F them, man. Yeah, let's try it. You always get that. That's just how life is, man.
Yo, Mach, could you just sit back so the people can see your face? Like push yourself back a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Who asking that? A female? Or you asking that?
I want to make sure the females can see you.
Hey, you want to put the shade down? Or we good?
No, that's good. That's good.
You're good right there.
So, at what point, as you're growing up, do you decide, you know what, I want to box? When did you really start learning how to box?
You know what? That's a good one. And going back, let me go back to if my family's worried about me being kidnapped. I come from a grandmother. I couldn't do more than 4 things in the house. I couldn't even look out the window. I look out the window because where I lived at the block next door, across the street, they just sell that red top, black top in the corner, that crack. So I couldn't look out the window because my grandmother said, "Yo, get out the window. They're gonna think you're gonna snitch, or they're gonna think you call the cops, or be careful, they might kidnap you because you come out your son." I used to always get that, man. So my family had a real pressure on me. They had me on lock. I couldn't do too many things. My going outside was going to the boys' club. And I'm thankful for the boys' club. If it wasn't for the boys' club in New York, I'd be lost in the streets. So when we came to the boys' club, I learned how to be me. That's why my man Yang, Luciano, who got me hooked up with this, got me hooked up with the interview. But when I came to the boys' club, that's how I became finding myself for me, Hector, not just the macho man's son. I started finding myself. So my grandma, my family always kept me in the bush, keep me out of trouble. So that's when I came out. I couldn't do too many things. I was locked in for being Camacho's son. My grandmother had the yoke on me. So that was tough.
Around
traditional way, like get out the window, go to just old school.
Mira, quítate de ahí, salte de ahí, coño.
At what
And
age?
the crazy part, my father crazy ass wouldn't help either. You know what I'm saying? Come back on through at 11 o'clock at night, 12 to midnight, come with the flashy cars, pick me up, take me away for a whole day, pick me back at nighttime. And so, my grandma was always worried about my father, worried about the people, man. So they had me on lock when I was young growing up. I couldn't do too many things.
So at what
So
age?
boxing came along. Now the boys club, I was actually a good baseball player.
Okay.
I was excellent baseball. I played in the Goya League in New York. Then I started playing basketball. When you're from New York, you gotta play all kind of sports. So it did not happen until I left. So I moved in 1992. I moved to Orlando, Florida. I was after my father fought Chavez. He gave us a down payment. He didn't buy me a fucking house. He gave us a down payment for us to move out of New York City to go to Orlando, Florida for a better life. So when we got to Orlando, Florida, there was just shit to do in Orlando. So my mother said, you know what? Instead of you coming out of school and hanging out home, you gotta do something. There's no basketball league, no football or baseball leagues like there's in New York. There's a boxing gym. Let's go to the boxing gym. I didn't go against it. I mean, it was easy for me because I was in my blood, but it was something I wanted to do. Man, I used to go to my father's training camps. I used to put the gloves on. I used to mimic him. But that wasn't my thing to be a fighter. Until, I started grinding in Orlando. From 1992, I started competing in 1994. By 1996, I was the #1 amateur fighter in the United States.
Wow.
So, I earned my way to Olympic trials. I had a great amateur career, but the credit for boxing, I give it to my mother. It wasn't my father. He passed me that DNA, but my mother put that work in.
Junior, I want to take it back to you mentioned like your dad coming home late and stuff like that, right? Was he like a god in the neighborhood? Was he revered like, like, yo, Macho's here, like midday?
You know what? I tell people every time, the Macho Man, Hector Camacho, was born in Puerto Rico, came to New York City at the age of 4, didn't speak no English, made it all the way to the White House. That's the fucking American dream. And I tell people every time, man, he's a god, he's an icon, not in the streets of New York, but all over the place, He meant something. He meant something to us Latinos. That was the only time. You know what's crazy? When I was growing up, I was confused. I'm Puerto Rican or I'm what I am. Now you talk about Puerto Rico, then you ain't Puerto Rican, you New Yorker. And I accept it. I love New York. I'm a New Yorker from the heart. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, they feel a certain way about the insecto. I used to be called insecto.
But when the Macho Man fought, wherever the Macho Man fought, New York and Puerto Rican celebrated together. So Macho Man meant something for us, man. He was like the thing with the curl. He was ahead of his time. Like this dude was dope. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he was icon everywhere, man. Especially coming from the streets of New York, because he came from the streets.
So you moved to Orlando. Your mother's the one that pushes you into boxing, and then not even 2 years later, you're already ranking and you're making waves. And I sort of remember that time. I remember seeing you. You were younger. Those were your younger days or whatever. But I always remember thinking, man, I hope that this guy follows his own path and makes a name for himself outside of his dad, right? So you could be an individual. And did you start finding yourself on your own and getting comfortable with that?
You know what? I could always say, man, and I tap my chest, and my father loved me because of that. It was funny when I moved. I grew up in Jefferson Projects, 112 Second Avenue. When I moved to 112 Street, Madison Avenue, the Tres Unidos, I want to say, you know what? When we moved to this building, they're gonna tell about your father, Hector Camacho. You're gonna say your name is Louis Camacho. You're gonna use your middle name, not Hector. Anything Hector Louis, but your name is Louis Camacho, they ask you. So I had that identity for about 2.5 years living in that building. My father would visit me there. He would visit me in Second Avenue, my grandma's house. So that's when I started finding myself. I feel like a títere, so to speak, finding out who I am as a young boy. When I went to Florida, a lot of people in school didn't know who my father was. I kept it quiet. And I just kept on grinding, doing what I'm doing. I was like because who I was as a person. I guess that's the New York game. I'm from New York, Spanish Harlem. So anywhere I go, we got that like me. You know what I'm saying? So I kept it low, even the amateur career. My father didn't help me. He found out. He called me actually, hey son, is it true that you going to the Olympics? I said, Pops, I'm in the Olympic trials. I go to the Olympic trials, and I'm on the nation. He didn't know I was fighting. I never asked him for help. I never asked him for things. But I wanted to build my own identity. I wanted to be known for myself. I mean, it was cool to be, pointed every time. Well, that's Camacho's son. I got tired of that. I want to be known for me. I'm Hector Camacho Jr. So you know what? I started grinding. And I didn't feel I didn't achieve that until I fought main event on KO Nation. I was signed to HBO. HBO brought me. My father fought on my undercard. And for me, that was my world championship. That was my title fight, you know?
Wow.
That's what I thought being known for myself. But when it comes to being known to myself, I always knew going into boxing, my goal was to become world champion. My goal is to be known for myself, for being known for me. Hector Camacho Jr., who I am.
Mm.
And like I said, that fight, I believe I achieved it. But I'm constantly grinding outside the ring. That's who I am as a person. My faith, I'm a Muslim. I'm constantly giving back to charity, constantly keep my father's name in that good light. Gave back to the kids, gave back to this, gave back, all participating, and taking time out for people, telling their stories. So my goal outside the ring, become a better person than where he left off, giving back to gyms, giving back to the youth. Macho was the Macho Man, but I could never live up to that kind of person. And that kind of fighter comes every 100 years. When you talk about Macho Camacho, we talk about guys like Muhammad Ali, Sugar and Leonard, Macho Camacho, Alberto Duran. Those are fighters, Floyd Mayweather now. Those are fighters that come every 100 years. Fighters are built every day, but those kind of fighters ain't built every day. So I knew that coming in. People ask, there's a lot of pressure being Camacho's son. I ain't a lot of pressure. I'm just me.
Those are like you said, those are tough shoes to fill. And you know what? You got to stay in,
Yeah,
and you had the right approach of trying to stay in your own lane. You know what I mean? This is my
yeah.
lane. Pops had his lane, and this is what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna run with. You grew up in Spanish
Mhm.
Harlem, right? So, is that what you started playing stickball at, or is that where you picked up somewhere
That,
else?
stickball is something that I always seen being for Spanish Harlem. At one point, my mother was dating this guy called Judah, who passed away, rest in peace. Jay had a team called he had a team out there called Sugar Hill. And I used to go to the games when I was young. And going back to the hood, like, you know what? I gathered my boys together. I said, my old school boys, let's put Team Macho. Let's do something positive for the summer. Let's get people out the streets. Let's start playing some stickball, you know what I'm saying? Like, back to the old school days, have fun. So that's what that came about.
I played Sugar Hill in football. I don't know if it was the same guys, but they were pretty good. Those
Well,
guys were
pretty
pretty
good.
good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So now, we know that the documentary came out, right? And I just want to brush on it a little bit because I feel like, and I said this in the opening of the show, that people don't want to know the good. They focus on, the drama and the bullshit, right? And to have people tell a story about your father and sort of make that the focal point of it all, for me as a son and as a father, I would hate to, have my children see me portrayed this way. And people don't really take the time to think that, Amato was your dad. Like, how that must feel to you. So I guess my question is, seeing the documentary, what was your thoughts and takes on it like?
When it comes to documentary, it's sort of mixed feelings. First, a production, I think was dope. They did a
Uh-huh.
great job. No matter how they twist the story, no matter how they did it, they did a great job. I think hands down, good job the way they put it together, the story. I mean, there's certain things you can't top with your hands. You can't cover. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No matter who gonna be true, you can't cover it. I think they did a good job in 90 minutes to tell somewhat of his story. Where I'm against it as being the head of the Camacho, being the son, the heir. You didn't pass it by me certain things. They did it behind our back and they did what they did. It's a documentary, of course, but the way they went about it, that side, the business side of it, we're not pleased with. But overall, I think it was good. It put the Macho name back in the map. Definitely, 'cause your guys would be calling me right now if it wasn't for the documentary. So I'm pleased with that. And me knowing the documentary is out, it just opened a lot of doors for me. So I'm pleased with that. Put the name back out. Now it's on us, the son and mother, brothers, whatever not. Is to put another thing out. Keep putting things out of my father on a positive light. Let people know who he is as a person. You hear a lot of things about him. Hey, Camacho this, Camacho that, but he had a heart of gold, man. He had a heart of gold. He was real. He was a real person. His stories got to be heard. It was funny. I went not so long ago to the same building that my father was raised, and I asked a couple of young folks, like, "Yo, what's up?" Like, "Yo, you know who Macho Camacho is?" They're like, "Nah, you don't know who he is? He come from this building." They're like, "Yeah, my man reached the White House. My man made over $30 million." So I tell the kids that 'cause that's the way to motivate these kids. Anything possible. He came from the same street you come from. There could be 1,000 Macho Camacho right now in the streets in the corner hanging out. But nobody gives those kids an opportunity. We ain't gonna know. That's why everything lies there too.
Speaking of, like I said, like you were saying, the positive light. I think a lot of people, like I was telling Mr. A when we started, you were a little younger than us, and your dad was a little older than us. So I think we missed some of his early stuff. That when you watch the documentary, you're like, man, this guy's resume is the real deal. He didn't duck nobody. He beat the best, fought the best, and if he lost, it was it was in no shame. So
Mm.
speaking of that, is there something you working on, a documentary or something like that you can tell your side? Or
I personally have my own TV series coming out, 13 episodes coming out, so I'm working on. I'm also working on for my father's thing. We got a book out called Macho Time. Interesting book. Pick up Amazon.com. You pick it up Amazon. It's called Macho Time. I'm also working on a feature film. We in the works to work on the script right now and put his real story out. That's something I'm collaborating with the whole family. I could tell my side of the story of my father, but there's memories from everybody. And Macho Man didn't only belong to me, it belonged to all of us. Whoever loved boxing was a part of boxing. I was Puerto Rican. So I want to make sure the story's done right. And I could have been signed for a movie, but I wasn't with it. I wanted to make sure it was the right time, the right story. You got one chance of doing it. And I was kind of iffy about the every draft situation in Showtime. It was documented, but overall they did a great job. And opened my other door, so I immediately hired a screenplay writer. I'm working on a script right now, so that's what we're doing right now. I'm grinding,
awesome.
working, keeping the name alive.
What speaking of your dad and the people around him, what are some of the things that you've taken with you through life that your father passed on to you? Using your hands, of course, great, but him as a father.
Macho Man wasn't a person. He wasn't your father. Come home. They said him check your homework. How you doing? No, no, no. He wasn't that type of father. I learned a lot from him, through mistakes and through life things. One thing I learned, he was an honest person at all times. He doesn't know how you feel. Right then and there, he's an honest person. That's one. He was a mama's boy. Respect his mama, a gentleman. Um, and then on the bad side, not to have people leech on you, have the right circle on you. On the negative end, I turn to positive is get the right team around you to move to bigger places. Out of caveat cycle, he was humble. Apart from everything, he was humble. I witnessed my father stop at a red light, argue with a homeless man, but at the fucking light because he told a guy, "I gave you $10 not so long ago, 2 days ago. You asking for money?" He was arguing with the man at the light. I said, "Pop, the light is red." Hold on. He's arguing with a bum. That shows me that guy was humble like a motherfucker. He's arguing with this guy. I've seen certain things on it. Like you never took down an autograph. Fact, watch him go. As a matter of where he's at, how late you take the time out, play with the person, talk. So I grabbed that for myself. I to be a people person. On a boxing end, I learned a lot how to market yourself. He was the marketing man. He changed boxing. He was the Puerto Rican Muhammad Ali. He was ahead of his game. How much would a Macho Camacho be worth nowadays to pay-per-view? Internet right now. How much would he be worth? Going out of maybe like Trojan, Indian. That was ahead of his time.
Millions
I
of
thought
dollars.
I thought he was crazy. But look at it now. Oh, he was ahead of his game. That boy bad.
He was a trendsetter. In the ring.
You gotta salute him.
Absolutely. In the ring, and like even his style of fighting, like the way he fought and like you said, the market and stuff, definitely ahead of the game. Definitely.
He was just as bad outside the ring.
Really?
He had a bunch of charges. He used to fight in the streets. He had the flashy cars. He had the jewelry, the chain for Run DMC for all these rappers. I mean, he was that dude.
I remember one night I was in Jimmy's Bronx Cafe, and we go to the bathroom. Me and my boy go to the bathroom, and I guess some cats decided to talk shit to him. They run their mouth, And I remember him going, "I don't talk, bro. I talk with these." And me and my boy just looked at each other, and I'm like, Camacho gonna hit these guys like 80 times before they even raise their hands, you know? But we would have probably touched them before him because we wasn't letting that happen. We was like, nah, y'all
Yeah,
ain't fucking with him.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yo, Mach,
positive about him. He come from the streets, man. You know what's crazy? Being around, I was always worried for him because he lived that fast life, man, and he went out that fast life.
mm,
When I look back at it, I look at his life like damn,
yeah.
life, man.
Mach, speaking about putting your screenplay together and doing all of that, at any point, did you ever consider, like, for yourself, I want to play my dad in the movie? You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
want to be the one to
but my
portray him.
my fat ass like to eat a lot, so I know I got to lose a lot of weight. That's another problem. That's every time. If I lose weight, maybe I can play the older macho.
Right.
But definitely, I want hands on
Yeah. For sure.
the movie. Definitely want hands on.
Yeah, you definitely got to do that.
You
Yeah.
said
If I lose the weight, I got the curl coming out somewhere. I'm good money right now. I'm good money, man. I just
just
don't,
let your soul go. Macho, you said you're a Muslim, right? When did you
Yeah.
decide to follow the faith of Islam?
That was in 2009. I was raised in a Catholic household. I actually went to Catholic school, Our Lady Queen of Angels in New York, from first grade to eighth grade. When I moved to Florida during those teenage years, I was more like a Christian, going to church every here and there, following. Um, but I didn't feel complete. I was always a believer. I was always a searcher of truth. I'm a kind of guy, man. I'm looking at things that I'm looking at why there's space force in the space right now. Why the U.S. has space force? Like, what I'm saying, who they gonna fight? Or like aliens? Like, I'm always thinking ahead. Like,
Right.
I just don't think things ain't right. So when it came to faith, I always believed in God, but I was like, something just ain't right. What I've been taught, or what I've been following. It didn't happen until I was in Panama. I was fighting with my girlfriend, who's now my wife, at an argument. I was in Panama for the first time. I said, man, I'm leaving the house, fuck, I have to charge. So I left the house and I stayed in the hotel. And that night before I prayed to God, man, God, please, man, send me the right direction, man. Please, man, guide me. And if I lose my mind, guide me. I'm here. I'm conscious, not mine. So the next day in the morning, I got to go jogging like I normally do every day. And I was jogging. I went by a place that had people singing. And I asked the guy outside, yo, what they singing? He told me, shh. I said, yo, what they singing? He said, no, they're not singing, they're praying. Give me 1 second, they're praying. I'm hearing them like a song. So then I go next to the door and I look in. And when he opened it up, I see people on the floor. I said, what they doing? They praying. This is Islamic school. So I went to the house. I called a friend of mine. So I investigated. The next day, same thing. I passed by the mosque and I finally said, let me go in there. But when I went, I took my shahada, man. I tell you, man, one of the best things I ever done, man. Changed my life, man. Changed my life as a person. Easiest for me to do. Islam is about 5 pillars: doing good, giving back to charity, believing there's only one God, only God. And those are easy things for me to do. I'm a naturally good person. It's easy for me to do things. So people are misguided when it comes to Islam. It's a beautiful religion, man. I've been around the country, so many places, Germany, here, there. When I bump into a Muslim, no matter where you at, no matter what race you are, they accept you like a brother. So when you get that kind of love, and I felt that, the government blessing is, I'm a firm believer. So when it comes to the faith about that, I'm firm.
So you're in Panama when this happens. You go by the mosque and they make it salat, basically, right?
Basically, it's salah. But I didn't know they were doing salah. I
Right.
thought they were singing. Like, what they're singing. No, they're not singing. They
They're saying the prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
There's been a huge uptick in. Sorry to cut you off. I'm saying there's been a huge uptick in Latino, to converting to Islam and Muslim.
I mean, it works for me. It works for me. Change me as a person. Spiritually, I feel like I'm in tune. I'm always thinking, I wake up in the morning, I'm always thinking about what good to do more than, okay, it's about me. That selfish thinking clears me out. And it also reminds me that we live in a pastime. We could leave the earth at any moment, any minute. Never take life for granted. Never take nothing for granted. So it keep my 10 toes on the ground firm. You know what I'm saying? I could be out there drinking, partying, smashing. But I'm Camacho Jr. Shit. But nah, it keeps me, you know what I'm saying? It keeps me grounded, man. Believing and fearing the only God up there keeps me grounded.
I think that people misunderstand that, like my partner was saying, and you even alluded to, that they have a misconception and a misunderstanding about what Islam is and what it means to be Muslim. And we're not promoting any language, but if we're going to tell a story, we should at least tell it the correct way. And as Camacho Jr. just stated, Islam is a religion of submission, right? And they have their pillars and their tenets that they follow. And as you heard him also say, that no matter where you go, when you meet another Muslim, they greet you and welcome you in as a brother. They show you that love. So I can understand, Mach, what you're saying, in your person and how you are as a man. This religion and their tenets drew you in, and it spoke to you in a way that you've been in the faith like 12, 13, 14 years now, right?
That's fair to say.
Right.
Before that, 9/11, I remember I was living in Astoria, Queens. I was renting out. I was living in Astoria, Queens, and during that time, but Arabs doing the area. I didn't know anybody. I was ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happened, I bought myself. I got strapped up when 9/11 happened. I was living with my family in Queens. I was worried about this. I was going to my BBs during that time. I was ignorant. And we all ignorant till we know what it is. You know how people, you know how we New Yorkers are. We disrespect. You know how people give me this. I was blind to the fact, and it didn't happen to that happened. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful religion, man. It really is. Something that also catch me. Like you in church. We humans, right? We in church. You see that nice little brother. Mommy look good. We in church. We praying, but your mind elsewhere. That's just how. In Islam, the woman's praying in the back. God's up front. We don't have that mix. We don't have that. Right. And there's a woman's covering herself. Damn right. The Bible says marriage to cover our head and everything. It's just living the old law. Nothing changed from us. That's just what it is for Islam. But
that's the key.
It works for me.
It's the key. It works focused, and you learn how to be disciplined and controlling yourself, right?
Yes.
We don't control ourselves. We're just animals.
We animals, man. We humans. We animals.
Yeah.
And some little things about it really showed me that, wow, brothers that I don't even know speak other language, just show me how to do wudu, how to clean my hands, it's just the love, man. You see it, no matter where you go. Right now in New York, when I go to the stores, all these Habibis know me because we all pray together.
Yeah.
So I go to the stores, and I read the Quran, man, like a book. I know. And it also says, like, for example, I try my brothers. It says in the Quran, if you go to a store or you go anywhere, if you don't have the money, that's a Muslim brother, you need something, you have two witnesses. If there's two witnesses, then they'll let you have it. You come back and pay them the money. So I know. So I'm in New York City. I be trying these Habibis. I be trying them. I don't have no money right now. But the Quran, these are my two witnesses. The Quran says, okay, I be trying them, and they good. They give it to me, I told my homeboy that one time. Watch, come on, you want to get a free sandwich? Come on, watch. Nah, because you Camacho. Nah, that's how it is. That's how Islam is.
We call it fiao.
Fiao, yeah. Hey, what's crazy? Crazy? I was Puerto Rican. Let me ask you a question. I was Puerto Rican. When something happens, what we say? We hope. How we say we hope? I was Puerto Rican. Say it.
Ojalá.
Ojalá. What that mean? Si Dios quiere, huh? Ojalá. So how ojalá? No, oh Dios, ojalá. Think about that shit.
Ojalá. I hear this a lot in my house. Ay, Dios mío.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my compadre.
Sally Song in the building.
And this is the set. And tonight we're talking to the legendary Mr. Macho Camacho Jr. And right now he was just enlightening us to the fact that some years ago he became a Muslim. And he is sort of bringing an understanding of what it means to be a Muslim and in the faith of Islam. And I hope everybody is really absorbing this information, because the worst thing that you can do is prejudge a people or a faith without really knowing what it's about. And I'm really pleased that Macho was able to explain it and how it came to be for him. So now, you're in Vegas right now, right, Mach?
Yeah, I came out here for a meeting.
Okay.
I was actually in Florida. I'm actually moving everywhere, man. These planes are cheap right now. It's like an Uber for me. So I'm back and forth, man. I just came from Florida. I was training my cousin, my father's brother's son. Do you guys remember my father's brother? He was a world champion as well. Do you guys remember that or no?
What was his name?
Okay, no,
His name is Felix Camacho. He was a world champion.
Yeah,
See, I didn't want that happening to me. I didn't want to be a Camacho. They don't know the Junior, or they forgot about Junior, or they don't even know Junior. I want to be known for myself. I didn't want that happening to myself. You know what I'm saying? So now when you say Camacho, yeah, I remember his son. You gotta say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So you're out there.
I built that shit. You gotta say it.
You're in Vegas now. What are you working on presently? What's going on with you now that you're in Vegas?
You know, I'm working on something. I wouldn't know. It's something I've been working on for years. For years, I've been working on this fight, man. For years. You know, I try to get the son.
Who's son?
Yeah, two sons.
Who's
I
son?
try to get the son, the one that want to fight. I try to get the other son that want to fight. So now I got the old man to fight. I told him, I didn't look. We talking about Julio Cesar Chavez.
Ooh.
I was trying to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. for the longest time because I want my revenge of my father. People say, oh, but he's old. I don't want to hear that shit. He's old. He beat my father.
Wow.
So we working on an exhibition match. I've been trying to fight the son for a long time. I try to fight Omar Chavez. I asked us, you got a cousin called Frankie. I don't care if she called Miriam, Jackie Chavez. I want my motherfucking revenge.
So wait a minute. You even challenged his son, the one that was fighting? You was challenging his son too?
Yeah.
Who want to fight?
He had two kids. He had two sons.
Yeah.
Julio won really well, who fight in a higher weight class. I thought an interesting fight. I want the fight to happen. It's a good storyline, Camacho Chavez. I tried his other son. I signed the contract for called Omar Chavez. I don't know what happened to Omar Chavez. One time I called him in Mexico. I had a fight coming up. I said, Omar, ¿cómo está campeón? ¿Todo bien? I said, Omar, I got an invitation for you to come down to my fight. Invitation. ¿Cómo? Invitation, no. Immigration, no. Immigration, no. I said, I'm not saying immigration. I never heard back from the guy. Never. Invitation. He said, no immigration. I ain't going immigration on you. I'm trying to fight you.
Ice.
Yeah, New York, man. Spanish Harlem.
Yo, that's crazy. He was like, yo, I want to fight the father, the cousin, the brother, the barber.
Jackie, Susan, give me any Chavez in that ring. Because it makes sense. Boxing's in the stage right now. Boxing in the world right now that Floyd Mayweather really fucked boxing up, man. He got this as a circus right now. Let's be honest. He got this shit that everybody fighting each other. Even that basketball player got stretched out. What's his name?
Nate Robinson.
Yeah.
So, you don't play boxing, man. So Floyd got this, so like since boxing, Mike Tyson came back to the building, everybody's back. So why might as well do what I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Might as well.
What do you think about
if the opportunity's there to take it, you gotta take it. That's Chavez, man.
What did you think about Tyson, how he looked and Jones? Like, I think Jones wanted no smoke. He got them body shots and he was like, yeah, I don't want none of this, even though it was an exhibition. I ain't doing this again.
I'm happy to see both fighters really work at their age, get down their weight, and display some of that talent, that magic that we all fell in love with. Mm-hmm. So I seen it in spurts with John. You seen the speed, you seen the this going on. That's fun. But with me and Chavez, it ain't none of that going on. He beat my father.
Yo,
there's a little more animosity in there. You know what I'm saying?
You really are taking this personally, aren't you?
Yeah, he is too.
Listen, I kind of remember that fight. It was a huge deal because, of course, Puerto Rico has always had champions, right? And Mexico has always had great champions too. But when we fight, there's something special going on that, there's a little underlying, like, beef, right? Like Mexico always thinks that we don't want to brawl, and Puerto Rico is always like, yeah, but we're going to fight smart. We're not going to go in there, just whatever. We're going to outbox you and we're going to beat the shit out of you at the same time, right?
It's a rivalry, man.
Yeah, a rivalry.
It's a rivalry. Hot blood, we had great champions. They had great champions. We had great rivalries. It's something always gonna be there, It's sort of like pelota. Puerto Rican, Dominicans, always gonna have that thing there, That's just how it is, man. That's how it's in boxing.
So now you're trying to. Are you making this exhibition happen, or is it like
in the works?
Oh, it's in the works.
Well, it's on the works. I came to Vegas to sign my part of it. Chavez signed not so long ago. So I'm signing my half of it now. So that's what we're doing now. So put things together, We under COVID right now. So, we're trying to move and see the smart way to do it. Maybe Texas,
Wow.
But we signed already. So there's no surviving the ass whoop. It's going to happen.
Mach, how many rounds? How many rounds?
He's asking for 8 rounds.
Okay.
I think 8 rounds is fair. 8 rounds is fair.
2 minutes.
I mean, I understand his age. He's 57. But those kind of fights, those are legends. Those are legends. There's more Julio. Julio stays in shape as you see him. So he stays in shape. So, those kind of tricks, those things don't leave. Those are legends, man. He's living a clean life right now. So I expect a strong 58-year-old man coming to fight, doing the tricks. And for me, it'd be a pleasure to be on the ropes and watch him or let him hit me like hit my father. For me, that's just so surreal. That's the thing that I picture in my mind. To be on the ropes and let him throw his hooks like he's a hook my father with, just to feel them, It'd be like surreal, man, for real.
Yeah, let me say something. No puedo perder ese fucking fight, bro. You better not let that old man beat you, brother.
I won't come out of Panama. See that? That's why I'm taking it serious. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? I got that pressure. That's why I'm taking it serious. In Puerto Rico, they gonna forgive me. I told Chavez, I don't care. You be my father. Puerto Rico won't forgive me.
You better go for his liver. Hit him
Yeah,
in the
well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's
I'm
at.
gonna fight the inside from him.
There you
go. He drunk too much.
Junior, any fighters now that you feel like you like to watch, that you like, this kid is good, up and coming, or?
You know what? I stood away from boxing for a while. I'm a big sports fan. I stay in my basketball, football, baseball, but boxing, I've been kind of the way boxing had turned into. But you still have the good fighters out there, like the Tank, the young boy Garcia. It's still exciting. It's still excitement there. What I like about boxing now is that these young folks, these young champions, they're willing to risk it. It's not like in my days when we used to pick who we fight next. Nowadays, they go at each other now. They want to fight each other. That's interesting. But boxing now, it's okay. It's okay.
Sel, I'm gonna ask him. What do you think about Teofimo?
Yeah, he's a friend to the show. Teofimo Lopez.
I like him. I like the kid. That kid got some fucking balls, man. Hey, that kid fought the best. He beat the best. Let him sit in his throne. Leave him alone. He's good right now. I just hope, and I believe he is that kind of kid. He's still hungry. I believe the kid is still hungry right now. I think the kid's dangerous, man. He's dangerous. He's hungry. I love that confidence. 100%. He's hard to beat that kid.
Well, Teofimo Lopez Sr. was on the show. They're actually from our neighborhood. They grew up like a block or two from us. So we from the same area. So he came on the show and showed us some love. But that kid being 22 years old with the skill set that he has, and not only that, the confidence that he has, we're hoping that at some point one of those big names stop running from him and get in the ring with him and get it on. Because right now, I think
he just beat the pound best. He just beat the one of pound best.
Exactly.
He just beat the best. I mean, he can't have anything better than that kid. Right now, he's in the prime of his career. Right now, he's like, yo, the kid got the world in his hands right now. I'll just enjoy it, but you enjoy it. He want to fight. A lot of people didn't want to take him. They didn't want to fight no more. And that father vision, that fight, they better milk it and enjoy it. Damn right, he's confident. I will enjoy it. I will milk it out. Boxing, dirty business. One loss, he's done. That's how boxing is. Enjoy it, by the way. Milk boxing for everything you have, man. Milk it out. Good looking kid. He's excited, got power. I'll milk it out. Ain't no rush.
He's 22, right? He's young.
That's it. The word is hands.
Yeah, see,
the future of boxing.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of people, since that fight against Lomachenko, a lot of people have been online and in these forums talking about, oh, he didn't win that fight. Lomachenko got robbed and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if you saw the fight. I watched it. Even my wife watched the whole fight, but she never does. He handled that guy. He made him look like easy work. And to me, it says a lot about the other fighters who, one, won't fight him, two, won't even fight Lomachenko, and three, there's guys that he has fought in the division that those guys won't even fight. And that doesn't make sense to me, right? I mean, they're trying to take credit from him where they, you know.
But you know what? That means he's in that position. That means he finally there. And now they're gonna hate his ass. They want to see him lose now. That means he can demand it. He's in that state where Floyd's at. When you're at the top, they start hating, want to see you lose. You become that target. He's that target right now. Let him be him. As long as he stays clear and just know what it is, yeah, he'll be all right. He's on top of the world right now. Who don't know that kid's name? You're a boxing fan. Who don't know him?
Junior, I got a question. You have over what 60 plus fights?
Yeah.
Over 60 plus fights. When was the one fight that you were just like, this is like you were just locked in? Like this is the one fight that you were just like in the zone as a professional. Like
I believe that Harold Warren fight. It was a fight that I was #1 in the world. My father says if I fight Harold Warren, I know who he is. He's just San Antonio. He trained with the Yala family. No, don't take that fight for what? You're #1 in the world. Don't take it, man. Don't take it. But like he's old already, man. Don't take the fight. So I took it, knocked on the first round. That's one of the fights that really, but the fight that really changed my taste in boxing was the Leha fight. Going up to the Leha fight,
Jesse James Leha?
I'll be considered the next Latino superstar. Camacho Jr. won the world. I was making big purses, 200,000 pound HBO, had a big contract. So before that Leha fight, that wasn't be a walk in the park. And after that fight, it cost the super 1.9 mil. So we had everything going. Before that fight came involved, I was the next Latino superstar. The next day, after that fight, the head bun. The next day, after that decision to go to the scorecards, the next day, the New York Post said Camacho's a coward. That shit right there changed my taste for boxing forever. I said, motherfucking. That's that knew better. Because the Macho Man happened to my father with the Rosario fight when he got hit. And he got wobbled Rosario fight. People argue that she changed Camacho's career. He started boxing, started moving. So, we have those moments in boxing. So those are one of my two moments that really, when it comes to boxing.
Yo, I have a question, Junior, from the show. Somebody's asking me if you remember Paquita's bar in the Bronx.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. My guy Whitey from there. My guy Whitey, Paquito. My father always be in that place. Shout out to people over there, man, about Paquito. Hell yeah.
Yeah, a friend to the show said that he had the privilege of toasting you and your father in Paquita's.
Whoa.
It was a big moment.
That's one of the few times I've been there. I went there with my man Whitey. That was the few times I've been there. Yeah, my pops used to go to all these spots, man. I used to go to these clubs when I was like 8, 9 years old in there, man. Yo, pops had me everywhere. I had to watch him. He was crazy, man.
Junior, let me ask you. I'm just one of my last questions. Like going to Puerto Rico, are you safe? Like, do you feel safe with everything's going? What happened, or like?
That's an interesting question, brother. You asked me three interesting questions that touch close to home.
Thank you.
They killed my father in Puerto Rico, man. And you know what's crazy? I felt I was in danger. And if I could say, I say on the show, I felt like I left on time. Because they bullied my father. They bullied the driver right after. I felt like, I didn't get the hell out of here before it's too late. It's what even told me out there in Puerto Rico, Machito, get the hell out of here. Right. Huh? Fuck, guys, my island. Get out of here, brother. I mean, wow, man, that's what I love Puerto Rico. That's my island. I have to go back. I gotta go back and stay there. Hell yeah, it's home. Regardless of what, man. On the positive side, my father's an icon to that country. He left his sweat, blood, and tear for that country. So, we love it, respect it out there.
For sure.
It's crazy because I had a friend of ours. We were young. I was in college, and I got a phone call. He went on vacation to Puerto Rico, and they lit up the car. Something happened. They went to Caserío, or whatever. Long story short, they ended up lighting the car up. The kid didn't make it. We had to be 18 at the time, and it's nobody ever found out. Nobody ever, and it's like how, so it's a small island, but so people ain't talking, man.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. I mean, we in tough times, but not only with the hurricanes, but supposedly the earthquakes, the COVID, the economy was messed up way before that. I mean, we just slave. We just the country, just Church of the United States. We don't own shit in our country. We in debt. We all messed up. It's sad, man. Beautiful island. Um, I mean, it's just sad, man. It's a hell zone right now. Think about it, man. There's really no help. That's just, I said, people banging out, shooting. Same thing in the streets, but everywhere right now. We're living in time that's saying that Jesus, Esau, peace be upon him, Jesus say, love thy neighbors. We're going to need to live by those times more now than ever, man, during the time. Hey, for example, I might have the milk. I don't have the coffee. He got the sugar. My neighbor got the sugar. So we gotta work together during the time. Shit gonna get rough, man. Shit is rough,
Yeah.
We live in bad times. Puerto Rico, we live in bad times right now, man.
I think that if everybody who just joined the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my compadre.
That's on, baby.
And this is the set, and we're talking to the incomparable Mr. Macho Camacho Jr. And him speaking about the island the way that he did, and how we all need each other, is something that myself and my partner have been repeating constantly on the show since we started it and every day since. And I think people need to realize you're hearing this from somebody who reflects you, somebody who you have a connection to, somebody who's in our lineage, our family. And he's telling you, yo, love that neighbor. Because I might have the milk, but I don't got the coffee. And this one got the sugar. People, we got to start getting on our notice for real. And I really appreciate the fact that you said that, man, because it brings an understanding that people really need right now, right?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
All over the world, and that's something that I do often. Like, I want to these kids, like, yo, man. Like, for example, I'm a gentleman. I was raised old school. I was raised old school. And you got these young boys, they don't respect these females no more. But these females don't give us nothing to respect. You know what I'm saying? It's not about certain things like holding the door, little things. Hey, good morning. Change people's life. You don't know what this parents going through in life right now. You walk by a person, how you doing? Good morning. Hey, I like the shoes. Hey, I like the jacket. The little small things in life can change a person's life, man. We're living in tough times. Mental health is a real issue right now. You know what I'm saying? This society is crazy. The internet, it's competition. Now we gotta vibe, man. Stop spreading, don't spread hate, man. Spread love. That's what we need to do in these times, man.
Absolutely.
Well, seriously, we need more leaders, more role models to step up to the plate. I mean, that's just how I see shit in life, man. I stopped listening to hip hop music. And I'm a big hip hop head. I still listen to my locks. I still got my chosen few I listen to. But this music nowadays for these kids, man, it's just crazy. Society's crazy. No more respect nowadays, man. Nowadays, we have respect. We could do certain things. We respect the females. There's no more respect in them. There's no more respect, man. No more. This music got these kids crazy, man.
You can hide behind the keyboard. You know what I mean? People think that,
Like the music got the kids crazy, man. Like these kids are like crazy, man. Tying their faces up. These kids are like, yo, we live in a crazy time. Like if you don't touch your face, if you're a sucker. That's how society is right now. If you don't touch your face, you don't got that, you don't got this, you're a sucker.
One thing I try to teach my kids is common courtesy. Like, say thank you to somebody. How you doing? Shake their hand, look them in the eyes. Little things like that I know is lost in the youth today. But not with my kids. I mean, you gotta be this way, well mannered, respectful.
Yo, doing good deeds, man. I'm a Muslim, and it shows me Doing good deeds, I don't do it because it pays off. But my man, it pays off, man, doing good deeds. Your call it is the world calls it good karma, bad in karma. Now it's the law of life. God said, do good on this earth. Give to the needy, help out. Every Friday, I go jogging with change in my pocket, $1, $3. If I see a guy who need help, a homeless guy here, but here. We supposed to help each other out, man. How blessed is world would be to help each other out and give, help each other out, you know? I mean, shit, it just starts with little seed, man. Plant little seeds.
People, if you, everybody's paying attention right now, and part of my tongue tiredness, but if you're paying attention right now, you're hearing this from a gentleman who we all knew who his father was, and we all loved and respected him because of who he was and where he came from. He was us, right? And every time he climbed into that ring, he took us with him. Everybody remembers Hector Camacho was a prevalent lover of the island, and every time he climbed into that ring, you saw that flag, and that flag was always with him, and that's how you know he loved his people. And to hear Junior speak in such a way speaks to people that we need to get back to the basics of respecting each other and being courteous and doing good deeds. It speaks a lot to who he is as a man and who he is raised to be, and his own realization of the lessons that he's learned throughout his life. And of course, as I've always said, this show is about bringing real people to tell real stories. And tonight, there's no word that I could use to tell him how much we appreciate him and thank him because
I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. You know what? And you know what? I say I give thanks to New York City for making me the person I am today. You know, I lived that life. I've seen that at a young age. I was privileged enough to see the money, to see the fancy car, to see the girl, to see the jewelry, to see what these rappers nowadays talk about, rap about. I was a player. I was honored. I thank Allah every time. Thank you for being a son of Camacho. I give thanks, you know. I've seen a lot. And that's what made me the person I am today. I know what it is to have nothing, end up being a millionaire, and come back down to nothing and hustle back up. I know what that is. Like, you know, I come from the ground. I know that you be up 1 minute, you be down the next minute. If you down right now, just wait your turn. Life is a roller coaster. So you know, once you walk on life with 10 toes on the ground, man, and you know how to respect and be real, man. That's what be honest with yourself. If you live in a front, that's too much work living in a front to impress. Who you gonna impress? It's too much. It's not so you be real, man. When you real with yourself, you learn to accept it. People accept for who you are. They try to put a front. And when they find take the mask off, it's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. So be real with yourself, man. And you know, just live life, man. That's what life showed me. You know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted. I'll fuck a nigga up in the street though. I'm still in New York. I'm still Harlem.
Me too.
I keep it 100. I'm still Harlem. I may be Muslim, but don't push it. It's Macho time.
Yo, that's great work, man. We thank you for everything, man. We appreciate you coming and sharing this with us, man. We're really thankful for this.
Shout out to my man Yankee Luciano, my man Yankee. We'll give it up for this.
Sure, yeah, man.
I appreciate y'all. Had a good time with you guys. You guys are
I hope
cool,
it's
man.
off that plane already, man.
Chavez Camacho 2's coming. Be on the lookout.
Let's go.
Junior, don't go nowhere. We're gonna put you in the green room. Just wait for
Give me a few minutes. Thank you.
Oof.
Wrap it up quick. This way we don't leave them waiting.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you did miss this or you caught in between or whatever, go back to YouTube, go to the Facebook. The video will be there. An amazing show. I can't even thank this man enough. Dude is just he's exactly what I thought he would be, but even more.
Yeah, no, definitely humble and knowledgeable for sure, man. And wired up.
Yeah, no, full of energy, super full of energy.
Get the book at Amazon, right? He said Amazon Macho Time.
Macho Time, Amazon.com,
guys.
And get ready for Chavez versus Junior.
Macho 2.
We'll keep you posted. Thank you for joining us. We Sel, we out of here, bro. Let's just end it on this note. Peace.
See you guys Wednesday.